Alrighty, Doc from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. What do we got going on today? Let's see, we got the dollar index up there. You can see that. Let's get the dollar index up on J4 Chicago Quant. Let's see, open up workspace. Let's do that too at the same time. There we are. And let's get it so we can see it. There it is. Well, you can see on J4X still moving down. Let's go over to here. Not there. There we go. I see the dollar index on there. Last we looked, it was, down a little bit more than yesterday, that type of thing. Nothing major, just kind of, now it's moved a little bit up from yesterday's close. Okay, not too bad. And you can see the pressure's been on for the last 3 days. We're in a sell, I believe, from here. So this is the third day in a sell. And you can see the same thing. Let's get that mouse over to there. And you can see, there we go. You can see the same thing there. 3 days in a sell with the reds. And at the same time, the green line has been basically there. You see there is at 59. And we go up to here. And it's at 58. So it was just above. And then right there, there's 53. And you can see here it's at 40. And it pushes into the sell there, and today. I believe that's how it goes. There you go. Number, the slow is at 20, looks like 20 even now. And the fast is literally around 4. That's a pretty big, gap. The trick is just to be minus of the green. When it's minus the slow, there's pressure on it on the downside, and vice versa. When it's above the slow, it's usually strength. In this case here, you can see that pressure is down. Logic would say to me, I expect it to be that way, but every time we turn around, they find a way to bring it back up because of inflation and interest rates and the Fed singing all kinds of different songs. And you got to imagine there are many here, and especially in the government, that constantly think that we need a strong dollar. Instead, we need a strong economy. They're a little confused between one and the other. Because the way they make a strong dollar is by raising rates, which hurts the economy. First sip of the tea today. We go from the coffee to the tea. That's what it really comes down to, is just raising those rates force the dollar to be enormously firm. Wait a minute. Let me see, where's the chat line? I keep on pushing on it, and I don't see it popping up. There we go. Alrighty, now we're going to get back to the chat line. I haven't even looked at that. Let's see who's in the house this morning. So that's what it really comes down to is, the best way to describe it is the Fed is using old archaic ideas. No, it's very bad ideas on how to reduce inflation. And that's because it's not honest with itself, and it's not honest with the American people, and it's not honest with the government. It just refuses to accept that if they tell the government what they're doing wrong, they'll be punished. And that's what's the problem with this whole administration, is it functions under the concept of what's the word I'm looking for? Terrorism, blackmail. Everything that it's not supposed to do. It's supposed to support and help the people, not tell them what they need to do. Not lead them, but follow and watch the good things work and walk away from the bad. That's what it comes down to. But instead, they want to pick winners. The easiest way to describe it, our government wants to pick winners and losers. That's exactly what it wants to do. It wants to pick the winners and losers. All right, there we go. I am now at the chat line. I don't see anybody jumping in, so that's okay. There's no problem there. Live trading with Doc. That's nice. And why don't I see the chat line? Okay, doesn't really matter. Let's go back to the chat. There we are. And I just don't see anybody on the chat line. Robin, you out there? If so, say hello. If anybody's out there that can hear me, say hello. Just say hi. put a question mark. I don't care anything. We'll take anything at this point. So I can hear me, so that's a good thing. But we do know it's working. All right, yes. So picking winners and losers becomes very political because now they're trying to just pick who will benefit them and who will not, and that doesn't grow an economy. And that's why, when you see the dollar weakening, it's okay. It should be weaker. It is sloppy. Policies are bad, and if you don't want money to run towards bad policies, you want them to run towards good policies. All right, now from there, I guess we might as well just move over to the euro. Let's see what the euro's up to. And there's the euro, showing strength, breaking out of that box, it looks like. Let's remove the box now. In a buy for 3 days now. This is the third day. Right there. And you can see, the weekly, it's been in a buy for 5 weeks. And, we went into the sell right in here for a couple days, but didn't break down in anything too bad. And obviously, we've been staying in that buy for a while now. Let's see what it looks like on J4X. There we are. See the strength there. You see where the fast is trading at 90 and the slow is at 76. So 14 points. That's very good. Lots of firmness. We have a little curve going on here. I don't think it means much at the moment. We've seen, a nice little pop over the last 4 days, going from the low 108s to the high 109s, even breaking 110 at one point right there today. We got up to 110.27. All right. And then from there, we will drift over to GPP. Where's it at here? There you go. Boy, you can see it's been moving along with Hinky Ashke's up for 6 days now on cable. There it is there too. At the same time, you can see 6 going on a 7th day here. It's been very healthy to cable, which is usually one of our favorites, in the sense that we always think it's undervalued ever since Brexit. And I think it's a doorway into the Commonwealth. And, I just am always surprised that it doesn't do better. And you can see here it is. Matter of fact, let's put up on J4X. You can see here, when's the last time we were up in the 129s? You see there back in April of 22. So over a year ago, we're at a 1-year high. We're beyond a 1-year high at this point. We're playing with some real high territory. And you can see the 134s here. See the 139s in 21. Got up to 142 and change after all this Brexit stuff. And let's see if we can go back and look at some of the deep dives of Brexit. Yeah, the 102 area. Isn't that something? That was the deep dive for Brexit. I guess it was that one. Yeah, 103. So now that's saying 108. There's 103. Okay, there's 103. And so, we've always thought that it was going to find its way back up into this territory. Matter of fact, this is before the Brexit all of a sudden started. You know, they worked it down. They started breaking it down from the 170s. But it wouldn't surprise me if we get up into this 140s again. It just has that look to it, like that's what it wants to do off this big Brexit low. I guess that's the COVID low. I think that was the Brexit low right there. The 114. All right. And on a weekly basis, you can see the same thing. We've been in a weekly buy for 6 full weeks with the Hinkies. And at the same time, it's been vacillating in and out with the fast and slow. Here you can see on Chicago Quant, we've been in that weekly buy, from the fast 2, 4, 6, going on 7 full weeks, and it's 5 full weeks with the slow. So it's been, pretty interesting moves. You can see this protected us for this whole move down in the buy, which made us neutral for this whole ride. And then, bang, got into a daily buy again, and this time it was a nice winner chicken dinner. All right. Nothing so far, so I guess no one is listening but me. Oh well, that's all right. If it's live or if it's Memorex, so I have no problem with that. But what I'll do is I will have a sip of my tea and enjoy myself a little bit. Robin, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm in there. I can hear you. I've signed it twice, actually.
Wow. Can you throw a hi up on the chat line just to make sure it's working? Throw a hi on the chat line just to make sure it's working. Yeah, it didn't pop up. Maybe I need to close and restart. I think I'm going to do that. Oh yeah. Let me reopen this again. Yeah, that's what I say. There we go. I see it. Yep. Good. Because I'd hate the idea of if someone's asking questions and I can't see it. Yeah. Okie dokes. Thank you. Bye-bye. All right. Robin checked in. That's really good. I'm happy about that. Now at least I know I'm not missing anybody's questions. Where'd I go from? Oh, yes. So there's a cable. We'll finish off with the cable and go over to the next currency. That will be the Swiss. There you are. You can see there's the Swiss making some really nice lows in there. We're taking out the low of back in May 4th, which was pretty low. Matter of fact, I think that's the lowest we've seen in 9 months. That's a very strong Swiss today. Yep, you see it right there too. And that's the weekly. Let's make that bigger. There you go. Back in December of 2020. Wow. Nice. Wow, this move that went up into here was just totally the Credit Suisse situation. Now that they've got it all straightened out, it's back to normal. I mean, that would make sense because we're seeing cable take out, 1.5 year highs or 1.25 year highs. We're seeing the euro do the same thing. We're seeing the strength. So now the Swiss is joining back in. Okay. And let's go back to daily there. Look at that nice strength. Nice strength. Yeah, we have PPI and CPI out tomorrow. So we're going to see some action in this market. CPI tomorrow, PPI Thursday, and then the banking stocks start to report their earnings. So I don't think there's a lot of surprises. Also, there's something else going on too. They're rebalancing. Okay, they're rebalancing the Tech 100 so that the top 7 stocks don't dominate as much as they've had. Yeah, they're going to readjust those, and that's kind of a bullish thing overall because it opens the doorway for the smaller companies that are making good money, that are not Amazon or Apple or Google or Facebook, to compete more. You know, because it's a cap weighted. Now, Doc created an index a long time ago, and Jim Cramer took it and used it for the DOT, and it was weighted to daily volume, not cap. This way, it was the liquidity index for internet stocks versus, like the S&P 500, and they're doing the same thing to the S&P 500. They're taking that capitalization down on the, I think it's the top 20 or top 10 or 20, one or the other. Top 10 stocks move the index like 45-50%, whereas the top 7 stocks in the Tech 100 move at 70%, and the top 50 out of the 500 move at almost 70%. 70%. So you're really trading. It's not really the S&P 500 in many ways. It's like the S&P 50. So, but you have these 450 stocks. So they're going to the Securities Exchange Commission has pushed this and probably following my old concept, how that balances things out. So it's going to be very good. All right. So from there, we go over to the yen. And there's the yen, still driving down, which is really nice. I mean, we've dropped almost 4 handles in like 4 days. Let's put it up over here. Let's see, where are you? Dollar yen, right there. There we are. And as you can see right there, same thing, dropping down for 4 days, just like right there. You see the weekly trying to roll over. We got the fast breaking through the 0 line. We've got the slow breaking through the top manifold. And here we are just on Tuesday. Can you imagine what it could be by the end of the week? There we are. Okie doke. A little sip of tea, thank you. So that's where we're at the moment with these, is that the dollar is being sold. I don't know, there's lots of good reasons as a trader for me to believe the dollar should be sold. So this is not exactly the worst thing in the world, and at the same time, a 97 on the dollar index would be just fine. 96, 98, just break that century mark. Weaken it a little bit. All right, from there we go over to Turkish lira. And there we go, another all-time high today of 29.37. And I'm sorry, 34, taking out the all-time high of 31.7 actually, or something like that. So just a couple ticks beyond, but that's all right. And you can see it's also, because it's dipping down, it's trying to get back into the daily sell. Now this is kind of interesting. It's starting to digest this massive run from the low 20s, where it went into the weekly buy around 21 to almost now 30. We keep on expecting to see a third gain, and that's why we came up with the 31 number or 30 number, or maybe even as much as high as 33. Because it went into the weekly buy And when it did, the product that week was trading at 20.24. So basically 20. And now we have had this product climb to 29.34. Well, that's about as close as you can get to 33%. And overall, it's a 50% move when you really think about it. You know, it's gone from 20 to almost 30. That's a 50% move. You know, we've been figuring that, you know, a 50% move in some ways is a 0.1/3 move. In the case here, when it finally went into the weekly buy, it's a 50% move. A lot of times you get these corrections around there, so it wouldn't surprise us if they started to take this thing down just a little bit. That, or the government will do something. Matter of fact, I heard, this is what I heard. Now, this is kind of interesting. Yesterday, the president actually asked the EU maybe they could join them, join the European Union, and at the same time was saying, NATO, they could agree with some things about, because they're part of NATO, they can agree with dealing with Russia more. And then 2 days ago, Russia was complaining to Aragon that he had knifed them in the back, type of thing, done something wrong. So maybe we see this currency start to come back and correct, and see some foreign money getting into the country finally to perk up the economy. Maybe. I don't know. So hard to say, because of the way we've watched Aragon do things. President Aragon, former prime minister. We've seen him take this currency from 1 to almost 30 now. Incredible move, 300-fold. Incredible inflation. And so, he's tried every trick in the book to try to save his economy, or let's put it this way, his currency in particular, and it has done nothing. So, all of a sudden, he's making these statements that he's kind of interested in, the European Union. And maybe he would like to join the European Union. And, that could be a very positive thing overall. We'll see. Because, again, I'm not confident and comfortable or confident. I don't have the confidence that he'll do what's necessary in the end. But we'll see. All right. From there, we inch our way over to the South African Rand. All right. See the Rand trying to move down now 2 days in a row. 3 days, really. That one was a minus. This is a minus. And that's a minus. And you can see the weekly, it's in the sell. Banging up against the zero line on the slow. You can see the fast dipping underneath. It's actually at -2 at the moment, just like the slow. With that, I'd imagine we do know that gold has been in a daily buy for a few days. Let's look at it again. There you go. Hasn't really gained much. We had a gain a couple days ago. Jumped about $25-30 over the last 3 days from its low of 1,907. And here we are trading at 1,937 or 36.9 now. So that's not too bad. A $30 move. Gold's trying to move up. I know silver. We could basically look at silver or wait. If anybody wants to see silver right now, say it. If not, we'll come back to it later. So we're seeing that. And let's put up a South African Rand on J4X. Right there. And you see, that's a bullish sign for gold. And what else can we say? I guess that's about it. It's some strength trying to come in at the moment. Now, the problem is, as you can see on the weekly down here, we are still down below, but at least the fast is trying to move up right there. Now, let's take a look at it over here on the weekly on J4X. And it should be moving up pretty close too at the same time. Yep, that's the weekly. and it's tried to get in the weekly buy for 2 weeks now. Let's see, what is that? That is, what is that? Let's make this bigger for a second. So this week right there, which was that one, why can't I see what that is? Sometimes it highlights and sometimes it doesn't. And right there, okay, maybe that's it. It's 21. Right there is 25. Okay, so it was in a cell. And then, if we widen it out, it'll help. Okay, there we go. So right there, it's 25. And right there is 22. So it was still in the minus with that green hinky. Then we went into 40. $41, almost 42. This went to 28, so it pushed it into the buy. And now it's it's at 36. And the weekly still, so it's really fighting to get into that buy. Let's just go back to it on Chicago Quant. There we are. Well, you can see the fast has been in there for 2 full weeks, just like that. Let's see, where's it at? Right there, you can see it. With those two, the fast went in there 2 weeks back, the same way. And so when we went into buy, I guess we were in buy. Yeah, so we're buy there. That went into a sell. So there's their sell. So we were in a buy for that. So it was an actual win-win. And then we're back into the buy there. And now we are flirting with the sell again. There we go. Okay. And we go like that. There we are. We're trying to get into the sell today. You couldn't take the buy there. Well, you got this fast moving into a buy, but the slow isn't a slow and below, so you don't really want to take those. Try to take those trades whatsoever, unless you're using a binary or something that you can't get stopped out in. And then now what we're really coming into is we're going to see this war that goes on right here with the South African Rand, which may give us the direction. I can say this: I saw yesterday the platinum go into a very strong daily buy. It really surprised me. It was a real push, because it's been dragging its feet for the last couple days, and then all of a sudden, boom, it made a nice jump. All right. So let's take a look at that as we say that. There it is. Yeah, see, now that needs to be fixed. There we go. Yeah, so it got into that buy yesterday, and I was like, wow, that's something interesting. Now, would love to see the weekly turn up, too. Fast is trying to get there. By the end of the week, the fast might be through. And a daily buy and a fast in a buy. And if we can get this green line, just through the negative manifold, it might be the beginning of a bottom coming in. Now, let's go back to the gold. Right there. So, yeah, that would be interesting to see this thing get some life into it. Well, when interest rates drop, metal traders buy. And that is a natural tendency of it all. All right. Now from there we go over to. Oh, you know what we skipped is what we'll do is we'll go to the. Oh, that's right. We had other news. I forgot all about that. Robin sent stuff over yesterday where India says they're not interested in being in the BRIC. That was going to be our third biggest BRIC. We're losing the third biggest BRIC. And that's why we always do this. We always go over to the Mexican peso before we even go to the gold. And the peso, maybe that's why we saw this action the last couple of days, because they had heard ahead of time that India was going to be moving out of it. And if India moves out of it, I think that's going to scare Mexico. Yeah, that's kind of... We could be seeing weakness of the BRIC right now, what we're finally seeing. Because it's been very strong when you look at the South African rand, the Mexican peso, and the Indian rupee has been carrying that index, because the other two or three products in it, Brazil, Russia, and China, are very weak at the moment. So that's another thing, and I'm not hearing much story about that at the moment. But Robin sent that over to me yesterday. Robin, have you seen anything new on that? All right. So we'll move away from the peso, but maybe that's the explanation why we saw that burst a couple days ago. All right. Now from there... too bad. All right, from there we go over to the Canadian. There it is. And there's the Canadian. Canadian made that same burst the last couple of days. And went into a sell yesterday. Still in the sell today. Let's put that line in there. Okay, there we go. So, there's talk of selling the movie theaters are talking about selling tickets. One ticket for two movies. Barbie, the doll, and Oppenheimer, the physicist. So that could be interesting. All right, old Oppie. All right, there's Canadian. Canadian is moving down, which usually says to us, hey, you woke up. See that big drop there 2 days ago? Or now it's 3 days ago. Well, when looking at oil, excuse me. There it is right there. Oil made that big jump. And then it kind of hesitated yesterday, and now it's coming back up again. And it's been in that weekly buy for a few weeks here now. And let's see, what else are we getting here? Let's put it up over here. Let's see what... We'll go right to Brent. Let's go with Brent at this point. There's Brent moving up. We're seeing strength in the oil market. I heard someone this morning say that they've been taking advantage of the weakness because they think that the oil stocks are going to be firmer for a little bit longer. All right. What else can we say about any of this? I guess that's pretty much the end of the currencies, and that's the last of the, matching it up with crude. So we'll go right to, there's Brent as you see it. We just saw, you can see the back months. Let's take a look at the back month. That is August, trading at 73, excuse me, 73.78. We're figuring that the October is probably around the 25.30 area. Let's see what it is. No, it's not. 50. So 78. So it's lost like 20 pips. Now, it has about 7 or 8 days left in the in being live. For starts delivery somewhere around the 21st or something like that. So it has been very short term that got up over 50 cents premium. Now it's down only to 28. So there must be like the demand is starting to drift again. So we'll see how that plays out over the next couple of weeks. All right, from there we'll go to Nat Gas. Nat Gas in a buy from yesterday, showing strength again today. It's been in that weekly buy now for a full 5 weeks. The fast has really died down. You see that there. Let's put it up on J4X. You see it's trying to turn up. We got a green going on in there. That's the daily. And the weekly must be green for a couple of days, a couple of weeks, I'd imagine, at least 3. So 3 weeks in a... Whoops, there it is. 3 weeks in a buy. In the last 2 weeks, it's been anemic. Over here, it's holding up pretty well, but I guess that's why we saw the fast... That's why we saw the fast right here break down. That makes sense. And again, that's why we always show you the slow, because it's the most conservative trade of all. And the fast just tells us, the short-term weekly strength versus the longer-term weekly strength. So in this case here, you can see it may start to... The fast may start to turn up. We might see the same thing over on Chicago J4X coming into the next few days. All right, from natural gas, we'll go to Spain and see how that energy company is doing this morning. All right. Right there it is. You can see this right there. You can see the euro has been the natural gas in Europe has been dropping. And maybe we're going to see 24s or 23s. Wouldn't that be nice? Huh. Look at that. Yeah. There's 22. There's 24. All right, so that's the energy in Europe, and then from there we move over to the metals complex. We'll go back to gold, then we'll go to silver, unless someone wants to see something different. There you go, there's gold, trading at 1933. Let's get it up on the screen over here, right there. And August contract, that's spot gold, and this is the August contract trading at 38, so that's $5 premium. That's what happens, higher interest rates. What else can we say? We can see the weekly trying to get going, and I bet it's probably really starting to do that. Oh, that is the weekly, and you can see it right there. It's a little green. It's trying to turn up. There you go. So you can see that right there. So in the end result, gold is trying to bounce. It's come off that 1892 of about, I don't know, what is that, 4 weeks ago? Something like that. Oh no, this is daily, so it's like 2 weeks ago. Okay. Now we go over to silver. And there's the silver. Silver's doing that battle again. It's trying. Did that really get into the sell that day? It looks like it did. What was it? 0 0 0s? Yeah, it did. It just made it into the sell by the hair. Actually, it didn't, and because the histogram was 0 and the green was -0 1, so it was kind of like it was still. It should be that should be removed. And so it should be, let's go like this. Remove and remove. There we are. And that's really the honest, but it did take that smack in the head, and it's in a weekly sell. So it's kind of stuck in that neutral thing. But if we can get, we see the fast moving through. Like if you were going to trade this now, you would want to do it through like a binary. Or a bull spread, or however you want to describe them. A call bull spread. All right, and then from there, let's put it up on J4X. Right there. And same thing. There's the daily showing strength. Let's take a look at the weekly. Interesting, right there. All right, so you can see there that the weekly is trying to turn there, and that's the same as our fast, doing the same exact thing. Fast is doing that right there. The weekly, and not only that, it's leaping through the manifold too. It may be overbought in many ways, and that's kind of a disappointment. And so we'll have to see what that does, because the manifold itself is tightened up enormously. So we'll sit back and we'll see what they do with that action. But that's what we're seeing right now. We're still in the weekly sells of both gold and silver and platinum. We need those things to get into weekly buys to want to be really long this thing. All right. Let's check out copper. There's copper, a couple days in a buy. Looking firm. It's in the weekly buy. They gave it a good pop today, getting up over 380, I believe that is. Yep. There's hope eternal, I guess, for a growing economy in China, and that's what usually copper does. It's kind of like the eyes, or the soul. Like as they say, like the when you look into the eyes of something, you see their soul or something of that nature. In this case here, you look at copper, it shows you where the heart and soul of China is. Economically, and obviously politically can be enormously more influential. All right, and last but not least, we just saw the platinum, and you can see it right there. It's trying to lift, and it would be nice to see this thing get going. All right, that pretty much does the energies and the currencies and the metals. There's the S&P 500. You see that strength kicking into that. You see it's trying to turn up. It's in a weekly buy for, I don't know, 14, 15, 16 weeks, something like that at this point. I think it's 16 weeks. Let's see if I have that here. What else can we say about any of that? It's been in that weekly buy since the end of March. And it's done a good job. It's gone from like the 4100 area all the way up to the 4400 area. Going for 40. It actually hit the 4500 area. So that's a pretty good move. All right. Let's put it up on J4X, and then from there we'll shoot over to the Tech 100. There we are. Look at that strength. And from there, that's the weekly. And let's see what the daily looks like. right there. Trying to get into the buy also today. And you can see the slow is still just underneath the fast. So it's, it's trying to get, and we're doing the same thing at the moment. It's leaping through the zero line and going into the buy. So by the end of the day, we may see this thing plus on both of these. If not, tomorrow morning J4X will do it. From there, we go to the Tech 100. Right there. See the strength in that. See it's doing the same thing, trying to get into the buy. And the weekly is not really that bad at all. Just hanging underneath the manifold, curving a little up. And the fast is moving up from the zero line into the plus area. So that's definitely a positive sign. What else can we say? I guess that's about it. Let's do this. Let's take a look at the Russell 2000. That's like copper. Look at that. Look at that. Nice move. We are starting to go after some high territory here. It's played with it 3 times. If you're listening, Robin, I think if this thing starts closing up in here, we're already in the weekly buy. This could be a sign for another pop coming on the upside on the equity markets. Let's see, what else can we say about that? Let's see, we can put that up on J4X too. And we can take a look at the Tech 100 again, because we didn't look at that on J4X. There is the Russell. Yeah, look at that. Playing with those highs. There's the Tech 100. It's curving, and in our work, let me go back to it again. All right. Seeing it inch its way through. Yeah, and yeah, Robin. The other thing was, that was why I heard that may have been the reason why we saw that wild pop at the end of the day. That's maybe what it was, because yesterday afternoon the SEC came out with that data. At the time, I didn't see that, but that's probably what it was. What they're doing is they're smoothing out the Nasdaq. It's smoothing out the S&Ps, and they already did it in the Russell. Cap weighting is not exactly the best. See, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is the divisor. That's what gave me the idea to invent that index back in the 90s. And got the symbol. The Securities Exchange Commission gave me permission for it, the whole bit. The exchange changed its mind about listing it, that's all. So, and then Kramer took it. So in this case here, what we're seeing here is this could be a bullish sign. I think it is a bullish sign for the whole market, because now money will have to come in and support other stocks in these indices that are good companies. In other words, they need to have a higher percentage of them now in their portfolio. Because remember, portfolio managers try to emulate the index. This way they can use the index to hedge. All right. And that's where we are. Matter of fact, I think the Dow has been holding up very well. Let's take a look at the Dow. Right there. Now, ooh, there we go. Yeah, Turkey is backing Sweden to join NATO. Yeah, and at the same time, I heard him say he was interested in the joining the European Union again for the first time in like 15 years or 10 years or whatever. All right, so the Dow, no doubt it rolled over with everything else right there. And as you can see there, let's do this. Let's see if we can change this to. Yeah, it's really making a good push. So it's only up 112 points. That's it. I mean, if it goes up 300 points today, it could get itself into the daily buy. And you get the daily buy in that. You got the daily buy in the Nasdaq, and the daily buy in the S&Ps, and the daily buy in the Russell 2000. Next thing you know, you got some buyers coming in. Indeed. All right. Now let's go to. Let's see, what is it? How do we work this? Let's see. So that does all the stock indices. And looking at this right there, you can see, that the S&P keeps on going up, going to the highs of the day, making new highs, and then backing off. So it just looks like they're just getting warmed up. They're getting ready to roll. They want to buy, and they want to get into a position, and they need to too. Remember, that's what that's all about. Is the hedge funds now have to take some money out of their pockets and buy in, increase their percentage. They can go two ways. One is they can sell some of Meta and Apple and all that stuff, okay? And Google, they can sell all that. And Amazon, they can sell that. And then take that money and buy stock. Or they can take some of the cash, because all of them are loaded with cash at the moment, and just increase the percentage by buying with new money. In other words, fresh money, not money that's been sitting in another stock. So if they do that, you're going to get some buying. That's what that's all about. All right. What should we label today's trading title? Let's see. I'm thinking about dollar and stock indices are making moves. I think that's the best way to describe it. In other words, dollar might be backing off, and stock indices may be taking off. From backing off to taking off. So we could say something like dollar looks weak and equities look strong. I think that's the best way to describe that. Yeah, I think that's the ticket. So today's title will be that. And I'll just talk for a little bit longer just to make sure no one wants to look at anything. And if not, then we'll get out of here. Title. Let's see. Dollar weak. Stocks strong. Yeah, that sounds good to me. All right, traders, we're out of here. This is Doc from North America. We will catch you all tomorrow, same time, same channel. Tomorrow I'll be happy to hump day. So, happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Be safe, be smart, traders. Catch you later. Arrivederci.